Carol Norman works on a 3-bagger and has a 1-pin lead here in the opening match of the Yuma Open.
Carol just used 2 balls throughout the week this week, which is also fairly unusual.
Consistent conditioning must have been the rule of thumb this week, because several of the players found a piece of equipment they liked and they stuck with it all week long. And after the commercial break, the dreaded dinner bucket jumps up on lane 36.
And she tightened up a little bit. This happened to her last night before the position round. We had a long break prior to position round. She got slow with her feet, slow with her body. Everything was tight, and she almost fell out of the show, shooting a 160 that last game. So she said the break was really affecting her physically.
Cross lane and escapes one more time.
The ball was coming in very light on her first ball there, leaving the bucket, actually almost leaving the 7-pin with it. Fortunate to get the 7-pin out.
And quickly a graphic look at the score as Carol Norman steps up in the 7th frame. Good opening match. As all 5 players on the telecast this evening are champions, rounding out the 92 winter tour. Better shot here, and a nice reaction and carry for Carol Norman.
She was happy with that shot. When she released it, you could see that she knew it was going to be right there. So she's lined up now.
Tish Johnson leads by 3 and could extend it if she strikes again here on lane 36. .68, and that was the shock of the week. Tish thought that she had thrown the best shot of the night.
Ball just driving a little too hard, not taking out the 6 or the 8. It's what Carol almost left earlier with the 4-9, tripping it. You see the ball coming in a little bit high, not kicking that 6 out.
Couldn't slide the 6 over into the 8. Tish not happy at all about what happened after the first shot. And now instead of leading, she trails in the match.
Tough break. Saw a few of those this week as the conditions allowed the ball to drive very hard at the back end.
This time Tish stands there and says, well, what will happen if I hit the pocket on the left-hand lane? And she applauds the strike on 35.
She's only trailing by 11, but Carol could increase her lead to 21 if she would strike here.
Now it's just a question of waiting and wondering what might happen with Carol Norman. If you ask Tish, she probably would not regret having thrown that shot on the right-hand lane.
I'm sure she would make that same shot again.
Up the track, and the ball doesn't quite hold.
You can see Carol's actually falling off of her shot just a bit. Sometimes when the ball gets ahead of her, the ball actually pulls her, and she kind of falls off of her slide leg.
No time for any mental errors, mental breakdowns here. All right, a spare up, and Carol Norman heads to the foundation frame. And of course, Top Rank Boxing, a 12-round bantamweight fight, and 2 outstanding fighters in that one. Israel Contreras and also Eddie Cook. Between the 2 of them, I think they're 56-3 overall. So you'll want to make sure you stay tuned for Top Rank Boxing.
There's a look at the score going into the 9th frame.
Possible 236 for Carol Norman, 235 for Tish Johnson. Plenty of excitement still to come in the 10th frame, and that's exactly what you want to do if you're Carol Norman. Give yourself an opportunity to strike out in the 10th.
She set herself up now so that Tish cannot shut her out. Half pocket shot, just dicing the pins, splitting them right down the middle.
Fun to watch players that have just come off recent victories, because They make such great shots in the clutch like that one for Tish Johnson because that's what they've had to do to win.
That's right, and if you've just won, you do get more comfortable, especially players who are making a lot of telecats, such as Tish. She can begin to feel real comfortable with the fact that she can perform in that pressure.
Try just to relax, bring the heart rate down a little bit so that you can go up and do your job in the 10th frame. Meanwhile, the 47th appearance in the championship round for Tish Johnson, and this time ends up with a 2-pin. Well, make that the 3, rather.
Just
didn't quite finish, did it?
Right, did not. I think she thought she made a good shot.
Mm-hmm. A couple of key shots for Tish. That one right there and the one where she left the 6-8. All she can do now is count 20 in the 10th frame.
Ball just not driving through the head pin. The head pin kicked around the 3. Normally would take out the 3. Came off the wall to kick out the 6 and 10.
Strike here would be 214. Puts Carol Norman in a position where she needs a mark to advance. Nice solid game for Tish Johnson, who may end up heading back and bowling in league play tomorrow night without her 17th title.
Carol still needs a mark and 9 pins.
A lot easier than a double.
Tish not even wanting to look.
Last trip on this lane, Carol Norman left the bucket. You wonder if that's going through her mind. Nice shot. And she leaves the 10 pin.
Not what I would want to shoot to win the match.
Well, if there is anything in her favor in watching the players practice shooting the corner pins with the little longer oil pattern this week, the ball did go long, so it's not as if you're afraid it's going to hook left.
Right, and Carol is using her strike ball to shoot spares, which as Tish was not. She had elected to go to a shinier ball this week because she said early she had trouble with spares early on.
Dropped it and still had enough turn on it to get it to hook back. Well, 9 and she's a winner. 8 and we'll keep playing. 7 you don't want to think about, and a strike means an easy victory.
I'm sure she'd rather be throwing the shot on lane 35. She's been striking every time over there.
She'd take the same shot that she threw in the 10th. Take the 10 pin and leave. Oh, a beautiful crushing strike. An exclamation point. 216 to 214. The opening game was a good one here in Yuma. Tish Johnson with a brilliant 6-week run. We'll have to wait until the first week of April to see if she can win again.